Hello, I'm Francesca, actress, singer, dancer, who loves to travel. As you can see from my pictures, when I'm on my travels, I enjoy trying the local cuisine, wine and beer. A shot of local schnapps also helps when you've overindulged slightly. I enjoy visiting places with lots of history, but I also enjoy exploring the great outdoors, and I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. So please subscribe to my channel and follow me on my adventures. Let's have some fun together. See you soon! Good morning. So we're off to Munich at the moment. We are leaving Steingarten, and yesterday I couldn't fit the video of Linderhof Palace. I couldn't fit all the footage in without the video becoming really long, so I'm going to put that in now. We are walking up to the Linderhof Palace, which was built by King Ludwig, and it was, he had three palaces built. He had Neuschwanstein, Ehrenkimpsee, which is the mini version of Versailles, and then he also had this one. That is not it, that is something else, and he had the Linderhof built. But the Linderhof is the only one that he actually saw completed before he died. This is the gardens and the fountain. He certainly had stunning views wherever he was. And then this is the palace. It's a bit smaller than his other ones, but very beautiful still. Some more of the gardens. Wow. Now, unfortunately, I can't take pictures or videos on the inside. However, I will try and find some pictures again of the inside and put them on at the end of the video. So lovely. So this is a mechanism for his dining room table. So his dining room table's in the dining room above this room, and it would go down. The mechanism would go down with the table, and the servants would set the table with all the food and everything, and then it would go back up to him, and then he'd have his dinner all ready for him, and it took like a minute to go up and down. Pretty high tech. He also has this at his other palace in Kimpsee. He was obsessed with the French monarchy, and all of his palaces are inspired by like Versailles and things like that. I just hope I can find some pictures to put on the end, because honestly the rooms were amazing. He had the chandelier in his bedroom that was over 500 kilos. So half a ton. Can you imagine? Half a ton of crystal. It was amazing. And obviously I wanted it in my bathroom. Not my bathroom, in my bedroom. And then you can see the kitchen. I can just imagine a German Mrs. Patmore from Downton Abbey in here. With her own little daisy. This is his little chapel. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Lalande has a very similar pattern on the ceiling of its chapel. I might be lying. For those of you that don't know, Lalande is Stephanie Jarvis's chateau from Chateau Diaries. But I think it might be. But it's lovely. I just wish we could go in. Oh. In addition to the mystical world of the Orient and the chivalrous romantic epoch of the Middle Ages, it was the glamorous court of the Bourbon dynasty that cast Ludwig II under its spell. At Linderhof, the king wanted a replica of the palace and gardens of Versailles, the magnificent former residence of the Sun King, Louis XIV. King Ludwig's garden architect, court gardening director Karl von Effner, came from an old family of court gardeners who, according to evidence, had been in the service of the Wittelsbach court since 1625. For his services to the gardens at Linderhof, the king rewarded his garden architect in 1877 with the award of personal nobility. Much to Ludwig's dismay, it was discovered that the greatly reduced version of the Versailles garden, designed by von Effner in an initial plan in 1868, would not be able to be carried out in this narrow valley due to its size. It was only when Ludwig acquired the Herrenworth Island on the Chiemsee in 1873 and relocated the Versailles project there that the garden complex as we know it today developed. Look out for Saturday's video to find out more about that castle. Linderhof is the smallest of the three palaces built by Ludwig. Ludwig knew the area around Linderhof from his youth when he had accompanied his father, King Maximilian II, on his hunting trips in the Bavarian Alps. When Ludwig became king in 1864, he inherited the so-called Königshäuschen from his father, and in 1869 began enlarging the building. In 1874, he decided to tear down the Königshäuschen and rebuild it on its present-day location in the park. At the same time, 3 new rooms and the staircase were added to the remaining U-shaped complex, and the previous wooden exterior was clad with stone facade. The building was designed in the style of the Second Rococo period. Despite its name, Ludwig never used this room to hold an audience. This would have been against the private character of Linderhof, and the chamber would have been much too small for him. He rather used it as a study where he thought about new building projects. This room was used by the king as a drawing room. He enjoyed sitting in the niche, sometimes reading there the whole night. Because Ludwig used to sleep in the daytime and stay awake in the night, the mirrors created an unimaginable effect for him when they reflected the light of the candles 1,000 times. The parallel placement of some mirrors evoked the illusion of a never-ending avenue. This was by far my favourite room. Just the chandelier, I walked in and I was like, oh my goodness, I need it!
This is the chandelier that I mentioned earlier, and it weighs half a ton. The model for this room was not Louis XIV's bedchamber in Versailles, but the bedroom of the rich rooms in Munich residence. This room was completely rebuilt in 1884 and could not be totally finished until the king's death 2 years later. The position of the bed itself on steps in the alcove that is closed off by a gilded balustrade gives it the appearance of an altar and thereby glorifies Ludwig as he slept during the day. The dining room is famous for its disappearing dumbwaiter called Tischlein deck dich. This table was installed so that Ludwig could dine alone here. Yet the staff had to lay the table for at least 4 people, because it is said that the king used to talk to imaginary people like Louis XV, Madame de Pompadour or Marie Antoinette while he was eating. I hope you enjoyed that little view of the Linderhof. It's such a beautiful palace. But so as we are going to Munich, we might not get to see that much today because we will want to get settled into the hotel. We're here for 4 nights, so we've got a lot of time here, so I'll be able to show you a lot at some point, but you'll see a bit today. God, so we've just had an absolute kerfuffle with the hotel. We got there and we were going to park and we couldn't get into the car park, and we could see there was a space at the bottom of the slope. We could see there was a space, so we were like, so it's not full, so why is it not letting us in? So then we had to go speak to the people at the hotel, and so you can't reserve spaces before you get there, but once you are there, you can book the parking for as many nights as you are there. So anyone who shows up after all these parking spaces have been booked, you can't park there. And
we've got a lot of kit, you know.
We've got a lot of stuff, and we really needed to be there. And there was another car park, but you had to pay a lot more money per night. So it was like, well, that's bloody ridiculous. That ruins everything. So we decided to cancel that. The woman wasn't very nice there either, so no. And then we booked a hotel that we've stayed at previously, but we booked the room for 2 people, even though there's 3 of us, because we thought, oh, it's fine, we can just, you know.
Well, there wasn't one for 3.
There wasn't one for 3, and we were like, oh, it's all right, it's still in the city centre, we can survive. And then we thought a bit more, and we were like, oh, maybe 3 of us in one room for 4 nights, that could be quite tight, especially as it's a room that's only made for 2 people. So then we've now cancelled that one and booked another one, which is one we've stayed in before as well, but it's slightly further out of the city, which is a bit of a shame, but it has a gym, so that's all good. Hopefully we'll get there and it will be fine, and parking's a lot cheaper here, so that's also a benefit. So we've got to the hotel and we're all parking, and then we found these parks. So the only thing we can assume is that it's parking for women. Love that. Love it. We're in Munich. This is the Marienplatz. This is the Rathaus, so the city hall. Beautiful. My God, guys, so I've got a gigantic, massive pretzel. I mean, you can see my hand next to it. It's pretty big. It's about the size of my body, and I'm gonna love my life. So we're at the Hofbrauhaus in Munich. Hey, Prost. And you can hear the music in the background. Where are they? There we go. You can just see the band. Good old music. We're having our beer. We're going to have schnitzel as well. So it's going to be a good day. Here we go. And Prost. So the easiest way to drink from a big beer stein is to hold it like this, and you rest it on your arm. And then it's really easy to drink. And you can drink from the 2-litre one. So we're having Wiener Schnitzel. Yum yum.
Sitting down.
So tasty. And this one's from calf. So baby cows. Very tasty.
Oh, there's enough potato.
I just find this really disturbing. It's so weird, isn't it? Because I know what's going on, but it's just weird.
Must be hot in there.
Must be boiling in there.
Oh, that's creative.
You must be able to see through that.
Yeah, through the shirt.
Yeah.